Well, wonder why my screen's black, but we'll just kind of roll with what we got here. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to SATAL 2020. I'm your host, Moltar, that you can't see, just the black block. But today is Task Force Trident taking on Grim Reapers. We went from Diamond League back here to Gold League, and I think this is going to be a solid one because we have a team taking all 4 Tomcats. That's right, Task Force Trident is taking off with 4 Tomcats. Grim Reapers are taking off with 4 16s. So this is a symmetrical side, 4 16s, or asymmetrical 4 16s on Grim Reapers. 4 Tomcats coming from Task Force Trident. Buckle up. Phoenixes are going to be taking off. Here we go. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening yet again. I'm here with Low Blow. We are back with some Gold League action. Low Blow, you asked me a bit ago what I thought Task Force Trident and Grim Reapers would be doing. I'm picking up a little bit of your headphone noise, just heads up. But
okay.
How I thought this would go, I don't know, especially because 4 Tomcats coming from Task Force Trident. I think this is going to be interesting. I don't know how this is going to play out. You have any inclinations on how this is going to go?
I don't know. The bringing the 4 Tomcats to the fight's a super interesting move there. I was having a look at the stats on Splash 1 Gaming before. So pretty evenly matched teams if you look at this stats-wise. We've got GR on a KD of 1.22, TFT 1.7, and win ratios, GR 66%, TFT 80%. So purely on stats, it looks like TFT are looking a little bit better at the moment. But who knows what's going to happen here. I know from watching GR in the past that they are a very disciplined team. They tend to not overcommit themselves, so that is promising. TFT-wise, we were speaking about this before. Neither of us could seem to remember how TFT fly. I really can't, for the life of me, remember what their methodology is, but we're about to find out anyway.
Yep. I think we are about to find out, and I guess I played the wrong supercut. But, it doesn't really matter. You guys get DCS deathmatch action, so what's it to you to see a different one? I think I accidentally played Joint Task Force France instead of Task Force Trident, but it is what it is. This is the match that's coming. Task Force Trident taking on Grim Reapers. I'm just finalizing the cameras. Do you have any predictions on how this is going to go today here, Low Blow?
Well, this match was held back in October, and that's pre-Tomcat nerf. So if we do get to a merge, the Tomcat in this match is still going to be a bit of a monster. Definitely better in BFM than the Viper. So, and that said, they need to get to the merge for us to see that. So at the moment, just on paper, Tomcat's definitely rocking the bigger stick there. Whether they hold on to those Phoenixes once they get into sort of, high KD territory, or high PK territory, I should say, around those 30-mile, 20-mile shots with those Phoenixes, or whether they're going to lob them early is going to be interesting to see. But if we get into merge, my money's going to be on the Tomcats, honestly, because back in October, they were absolutely brutal in BFM in terms of their 2-circle capabilities. Obviously, at a bit of a disadvantage not having a HMD, but I would ditch the HMD any day for the ability to rate on the deck like the Tomcat did back in October of this year.
Right. Low Blow, I restarted the real-time telemetry, so you should be good to drive that for us. So we did get attack view set up, ladies and gentlemen, so we should be ready to rock and roll there. Low Blow is going to be driving it for us. So if we go and take a look at the attack view camera, he's going to be driving it, so we're going to be able to see me controlling these the normal pilot cameras, and then Low Blow is going to be driving the attack view camera. I should be able to pull up. You guys don't want to see a close-up of my face, but I should be able to pull up this. And it's right over Low Blow's face.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Hey, we're getting a bit of our green screens in the background as well.
Yeah, I see that. I'll fix it in a minute. Fix it in a minute. We're still getting everything ready to go, man. It's a
you know, they say
process.
perfection is the enemy of good, right?
Well, it'll never be perfect. Moltar is one constant fuck up to the next. Real-time telemetry is not, the IP address is not fixed. Maybe you can post the IP address for them, Low Blow in chat.
Yeah.
So that these guys can,
I can do that.
Can grab it.
Here you go, guys, and the port is 10308.
Uh-oh, my camera may be dying.
Looks like I'm running the show now.
It seems that way. I'm just not cool enough. Alright, so we got TAC view now. Let me go fix the webcams. Yeah, my camera's just doesn't want to. We need to turn the webcams off for now. Anyway, so it's all good. So let's let my battery charge, get rid of our cameras, and we should be ready to rock and roll. Yes. So Low Blow posted the IP address for the real-time telemetry, so you guys have that now.
Is that not working? Hang on, let me try a different IP then. Just a second. Try this one here.
That should be the IP. Yeah. That should be it.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm using for on real-time telemetry. So try either of those. Hey Malta, you want to throw a chroma key with some opacity reduction on the map, maybe?
I can do that.
Yeah, that looks good.
There you go.
Thanks.
Okay. We need to go back to this one because this one's more fun. Let's do this. Doesn't look like it's the real-time telemetry is playing. I think it got out of sync again. Let me relaunch it here in a minute.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good stuff.
It's a little bit behind, but you know it'll work for our uses. Hopefully it doesn't get too far behind. I don't know why it's not synchronized. It should be. But guys, what are your predictions on what's going on here? We've got 4 Tomcats against 4 F-16s. That is 24 Phoenix and 8 AIM-9s against 24 AIM-120s. So Task Force Trident definitely has the bigger stick. They definitely have the longer reach. And this is
Are they the
pre-nerfed.
120s or the Bravos? So the Charlies or the Bravos?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure.
No, the thing is, GR are no pushover of a team. You know, we've seen them in the past absolutely hand it to some of the other teams in this division. So, you know,
that is true.
It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy for TFT to just walk all over them. I'll say that much right now. would be my expectations, provided that they can stay disciplined and and do what they do best. But they are definitely a solid team.
Now, do you think Task Force Trident is going to be able to take the F-16s and Grim Reapers? Do you think they're going to be able to take the F-14s? I mean, what are your predictions? I mean, like I said earlier, Task Force Trident definitely has the longer stick. Do you think that's going to play a role here? The Phoenix isn't that hard to dodge, but this is pre-nerf, so it does have Magic INS.
Well, the way I see it, it comes down to a couple of factors here. It comes down to, one, when are they going to launch those Phoenixes? Two, how are GR going to fly those Vipers? Because if they fly them on the typical Hornet profile that we've been seeing guys come in at, mid 20k Mark 1, again, we've spoken about this multiple times now, I don't think that that's employing the Viper to its F-pole strength. So, and here's the thing, the issue that GR have is that the Tomcat is really strong at 20 to 30 miles, and then it becomes really strong again once it's within about 5 miles, once the merge happens. So,
well, guns only.
They need to... Exactly.
It struggles, I think, with heaters against other aircraft. Well, it is a tank, so it can take some hits and keep on going.
Right.
For whatever
and
reason.
it doesn't have the high off-bore sight capability. Are the Vipers carrying 9Xs or 9Ms?
No, 9Ms. But the helmet-mounted sight does help immensely. I will give it that.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, shout out to Pilgrims there in chat. Hello, guys. All right, so we are, in this funny sort of a matchup here, where, as you point out, the longer stick lying with TFT, and those Phoenixes really able to dictate around about the 20 to 30 mile range. But again, we talk about machines, and this came up last time in the Tor versus 64 matchup. For my money, SATAL really boils down to pilots and team tactics as opposed to airframes. If these guys misuse those Tomcats, they're going to get abused.
Right.
But,
Yeah, I don't... If they misuse them, the Tomcat can bite back. It's not a forgiving plane. If you overstress it, you're going to rip a wing off, much like you do in the flanker. So you got to be careful with it. It's all analog, so it'll come back and get you. You got to be nice to it, but I think if you're nice to it, it'll give you that performance in spades, right? It's got the power, it's got the maneuverability. Obviously, this is pre-nerf. It is a monster in the merge. Do you think we're going to make it to the merge? We're limited on situational awareness and missiles. They do have data link coming in here. What are your predictions there? How long do you think this match is going to go?
Man, I sure as hell hope they make it to a merge. I would love to see some BFM today. So Viper versus Tomcat BFM is fun to watch, and with the Tomcat pre-nerf here, you definitely just can't hand it to the Viper. What we've seen in the BFM clinic is that once those nerfs landed with the Tomcat in December, it absolutely got nerfed. The Viper was able to walk all over it in the 2 circle at that point. But I'm expecting a bit of a slugfest today. I think this is going to be jet for jet trading off here, and it's going to be a war of attrition. Is what I'm hoping to see, and I am definitely hoping to see these guys end up merging with one another and see some heater action. That would be very cool.
We don't get to see the merges very often, so I'm anxious to see if that happens. I think the Tomcat's going to have a significant advantage there, because I think our F-16, our Viper, is a little bit gimped in comparison, at least from what I've heard from real-life pilots, at what it can do in real life. I think it's a little bit down on its degrees per second.
Definitely, yeah. Especially at slow speed. We had one of the guys at the clinic, Hummingbird, map out the performance of the Block 52 against the real-world EM diagrams, and what he found was that above 0.4, it's within a 5% tolerance, but below 0.4, it's lacking quite significantly. So it becomes a bit of a dog once it gets slow, and it just stops moving the nose in DCS, which isn't how it's supposed to be. But interested to see what's going to happen. And I'm particularly excited that it's 9 mics, not 9Xs, because merges with 9Xs. If for example TFT were flying Hornets with the 9X and the Vipers had the 9X, then that's just mutual kill territory all day long, really, isn't it?
It really is. It really is. Now, why is DCS right not giving me audio? Try and fix that. What are you doing here, game? Oh, we'll fix that later.
Now, question for you, Moltar. The
Mhm.
Phoenix, in your experience, is good down to about what min-range would you say? Would you still say at 5 miles it's exceptionally lethal? Or
Not really. It's pretty easy to see, and it's pretty easy to notch. If you can see a Phoenix, it's pretty easy to be able to get away from it. So the further away you can launch that big telephone pole of a missile, I think the better off you are. When you start getting in close, the buildup of energy for the Phoenix, it's a massive missile. It has a massive motor, but it's slow to accelerate. It maintains that energy decently well, but it takes a while to get to that point. So if you can get in close, the only option they're really going to have for the Tomcats for Task Force Trident is going to be the 9 mic. The Phoenix isn't going to be a factor. I do see that they're carrying AIM 7s, at least Rages.
Right.
That brings me to a good follow-up here of let's talk about who is actually flying in today's matchup. So for Task Force Trident, we have Agent Orange, Lynx of the Sky, Chewie, and Rage, and they're all in F-14s. And then on Grim Reapers, we have Bear, Squirtle, Signore, and Layton. All in F-16s.
Now, if you look at the altitudes at the moment, they're through 40 miles. We haven't seen any Phoenix shots out, and I like the fact that TFT are already beginning to bracket. This, at the moment, is a 11-mile spread for TFT, and GR all staying on the same side. So at the moment, if GR were to turn in hot, we'd be looking at basically a 4v2 in the south, but you would expect that the northern TFT group at that point would turn in and start lobbing in. By the looks of things, we've got Squirtle and Bear getting a bit of a trail separation here happening. Whether they're looking to set up a grinder here, who knows? But between the Southern Tomcat group and Squirtle now, we're looking at 25 miles. First Phoenix off the rails there at about 27 miles, I'd want to say. And, that's a reasonably, that's a respectable shot. A 30-mile Phoenix shot is a pretty respectable shot.
And it is a Mark 60. So these things are going to hit like trucks. They're going to have tons of energy. This thing's 6 miles away from its intended target, and it's still at 1,500 knots. Can't tell who it's coming in on Squirtle. So Squirtle looks like he's defensive. Let's jump in and ride along with it. So we've got the Phoenix, the outside view of the Phoenix in the one camera, and then we've got the TAC view for the Phoenix in the top, and it just bled all of its energy as it got close to target, and it's having the Phoenix aneurysm as it doesn't know what to do and freaks the hell out and bleeds all of its energy, and now we're down to 250 knots.
Squirtle, very capable pilot, gets out of there scot-free, and looking at that is now a 20-mile slammer coming out of Layton and Signore, I want to say. Another Phoenix coming out of Chewie by the looks, and that Phoenix there was shot at about 30 miles as well. I'm not sure who it's tracking at this point. Now we see Agent Orange and Lynx making their way out. They're flowing out, and we've got Chewie and Rage making their way in. So definitely looks like TFT are communicating. They have a bit of a game plan here in terms of how they want to manage this engagement, which is a positive sign.
Yeah, they're trying, I think, to do a bit of a standoff, force Grim Reapers to waste a decent amount of their munitions, and then see what they can get late game, hopefully forcing those merges. At least that's my assumption as the game progresses, hoping that Grim Reapers don't have the weapons remaining to be able to capitalize on those close-in engagements.
Yeah, they're playing a bit of a missile economy game, it looks like, because they're definitely not spamming their Phoenixes. But what we're seeing from GR is...
and I do need to point out, Bear looks like he crashed.
Yeah.
So Bear is no longer with us. He crashed. I've got a note of that he didn't eat a missile. Nobody hit him. He just crashed.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean, looking at this, how many slammers have we seen already?
That's a lot.
We have to have seen about 8, I would say.
Well, and when you're only carrying 24, there's 5 on the screen right now. When you're only carrying 24 of them, that's a fifth of your complement. Over a fifth of your complement of remaining munitions. So is Grim Reapers going to be in trouble as this match progresses, not having the weapons they need to get in on those really sure kills when you're inside 4 miles to be able to capitalize on it? They're shooting from 15 miles right now, which seems like a decent shot. And there goes another one from Signore. Seems like a decent shot, but in my opinion, they just come down to wasted weapons.
Right. And there's 3 slammers coming back now for 1 Phoenix. So missile economy definitely going to TFT at the moment. And what we could see is TFT momentarily there, we were seeing them when they were recommitting at different altitudes. We had the Agent Orange group down on the deck, and we had Rage's group up high. But now looks like TFT are all down in the deck. And the range here that we're talking about from Agent Orange to Squirtle is down to 4 miles. We're about to see a merge here. Agent Orange sees him, fires a 9M on Squirtle. Is Squirtle going to eat this?
Squirtle got hit, yeah. So the attack view's a little bit behind, but Squirtle just got a bit out of place, out of sorts, and was nose cold to Agent Orange, and Agent Orange is able to capitalize on that situation and make short work of Squirtle. But I think Signore is going to be, and I'm going to pause this just so we don't miss anything. Signore, I think, is going to be in a bit of a sort. Is he going to be able to capitalize on his position against Agent Orange?
Well, I'm going to have to pause attack view because my attack view is still running even though it paused on your screen. So we're going to have to sync timestamps here.
I'm at 32:31.
Okay. All right, I'm there.
Just getting organized here.
Now, good question coming in from Natsu there. Why would they fly low in a BVR? Initially, you'd want to start the engagement high, but you know, once you start evading, you know, the evasion tactics tend to be a defensive slice down into to the terrain to try and line of sight these missiles to put the hills in between the aircraft and the missile. Right. And then when they flow out cold, you'll tend to see them climbing back up to mid-20s a lot of the time, just to regain their offensive advantage when they recommit. So yeah, quite normal in SATAL anyway to see people diving for the deck to try and use the terrain as a defensive measure there.
Well, the real-time telemetry doesn't want to...
Hang on a second, I've just unpaused it.
And Agent Orange gets just demolished by Signore, and Lynx of the Sky dies at the same time. So if we take a look at camera 3, both of these guys in their F-14s get hit. Agent Orange looks like he's going down. Signore takes down, or actually Lynx crashes, but I think he got hit by something.
Okay, so now we're down to a 2v1. It's Rage and Chewie against Leighton. The range here at the moment, let me just take a quick look at this. Nothing of note in the sky weapons-wise at the moment. We're down to 6 miles here. Chewie now, is he going to recommit on Leighton? Interesting to see this. Leighton coming in ultra fast on the deck there, 670 knots. Rage looking for a merge with him. 9M. And a 120 comes back at Rage, misses, and we're into a merge now. Nice merge there on the deck, neutral. Bearing in mind that TFT do have... Well, Chewie's got a 120 on him.
I think he may have just forgotten that he had it.
Chewie eats it. Rage now pulling into the 6. Definitely got angles on Leighton here at 3 miles. Has he got another 9 Mike is the question. I don't know if he saw him.
Yeah, he does.
I'm not sure if...
He's got one on the wing.
Okay, he does. There we go. He's fired that 9 Mike. Oh, okay, sorry. There are 2 GR jets left here still.
Yep.
I've just noticed. He fires a 54 at who?
He may have had a lock, and then it may have just gone outside the scan cone. I can't tell. I think it may have been on Signore, but he may have lost it if we're looking at what's going on the TAC view. But now Rage is merged with Leighton, and the problem is that Signore is nowhere to be seen in this engagement. He's just out of sorts and out of it.
Well, he is coming back around now. I mean, it looks like on the TAC view he's far away, but in reality he's not. He's only at 4 miles here, and he has tally on Rage.
So Signore now is on the 6 of Rage. Leighton is now breaking away. I don't think Grim Reapers have any weapons remaining. Now, Rage does have an AIM-7, at least one AIM-7 and another AIM-54 remaining. Signore is on the 6 of Rage, trying to convert. And guys, the TAC view is a little bit behind, so just be aware of that. It's about 6 seconds behind, so just a heads up if you are watching on real-time telemetry that there is some time behind.
All right, so now we're into a vertical 2-circle. Rage managing this really well. Bearing in mind, this Tomcat is an absolute monster in the 2-circle at this point back in October 2020. He has another
he hit
merge
him!
with Leighton.
Laser beam M61 coming from the Tomcat demolishes
Wow.
Signore, and we're down to a 1v1. So Rage managing his energy, doing a really good job in this 2v1 situation, dispatches Signore and is left now with Leighton. So he's equalized it. Now it's a 50-50 fight.
Right. Now, Leighton is doing a pretty good job of being close to 2-circle speed or rate war speed in the Viper here at about 480, taking it up into the vertical. Rage bleeding all the way back to 180 knots, and he's still against a reasonably fast Viper. You know, now we see Leighton come back down the other side of this vertical 2-circle, but he's not putting the knots back on as fast as I'd like to see him do it. He's back now through 400. Rage just going for pure nose position to try and gun him high aspect. He needs to get back to around about 325 to be rating in that Tomcat. But look at him, he's got all the angles now. Now he's got his speed back to rate war speed, and Rage is totally in control of this fight.
And he got
at
him.
this point.
He got him. Leighton's out. Leighton's control surfaces are done. You can see damage all over his aircraft, trying to put off some M61 rounds. He's missing his right horizontal stab. Leighton's done. So Rage single-handedly dispatches at least half of the enemy team.
Yeah.
With guns only.
Well done. Well done, Rage. Well done, Rage. And GR are not a weak team, you know, but they're going to need to come over to the clinic and get some BFM rounds in. We're going to need to help them out a little bit there.
So what do you think happened?
Yeah.
Break that fight down with what you think transpired.
Let's go back and have a look at it. I'm just pulling it up. Honestly, my impressions were that TFT came in with a very clear game plan, very strong element tactics. They were definitely operating as 2-2 ships, and I'd be interested to know from any TFT guys in chat, were you communicating between the two elements, or were you in separate Discord channels and just going off that? But it's unfortunate that Bear went down early, I have to say, because that made it a 3v4 from the offset. And then what we saw was the range just seemed to close down really fast, didn't it? Mm-hmm. We got down to like 10 miles in this ultra quickly, and we were into ACM territory before we even knew it. So missile economy was definitely a dominating factor in this. We saw. Yeah, I'm moving it. You see it?
Nope. Let me disconnect from the real-time telemetry. And online debriefing. All right, there we go. I can see you moving it now. Try now.
Right. Can you see it now?
Can you move it?
I'm moving it. Yeah.
It's not working. Let me restart the online debriefing.
Okay. But anyway,
Right,
coming
up.
back to your
Go
question, you said what did I think happened? I think that TFT played a really good missile economy game and bled GR out of pretty much all of their slammers to the point where GR were forced to close the distance in order to fight. And once they got there, TFT just exercised a little bit better BFM skill, I'd say.
Let's back up. So, Rage.
I mean, if we just have a look at this, look at all of the slammers coming out of GR at this point. I'm just going to roll this forward quickly.
You're not on the online debriefing anymore. You need to reconnect.
Oh, okay. Okay, you got me? I'm in.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm going to have to roll forward here. But, I mean, if I were to characterize the fight, I'd say that TFT played a really intelligent missile economy game against GR. GR spent a lot of slammers there in the early to mid-fight, and TFT were just able to stay, for the most part, safe against those. And then Rage, here's the thing with Rage, he spends a lot of time BFMing. That's no accident that he was able to dispatch with two of those GR guys like that. He puts a lot of time into his BFM. I know that for a fact. So, that time clearly pays off here in SATAL.
Yeah. It definitely did, and he was able to showcase the skills that he's built inside BFM by taking down Senora and Leighton in that guns only merge. And he didn't even use the aim 7. He didn't try and push off. He recognized, hey, I'm good with my guns, I'm comfortable utilizing them, and then utilize them to their full advantage.
Right.
He did have some
Now
questionable
bear in
aim
mind-
54 shots. I don't know if they were worked. They did push Signore off, but I don't know if that was a mistake launch or if he actually had a good lock.
Right. And worth bearing in mind is that as we move into 2021 now, post-December, the Tomcat has received very heavy nerfs to its two-circle capabilities. And if this fight were to happen today, provided GR could manage their energy well once they got into the merge there with that Tomcat, they would have had a much better chance. But that Tomcat, has the highest sustained turn rate within the smallest distance of any jet at this point when this fight was fought here, of any jet in the game back in October.
Yeah. So the Tomcat's just gotten a bit of a arm twist. I mean, the 54 got nerfed back down to where it should be. I think no magic INS. It's much more difficult to utilize. It has to be supported by the launching aircraft. There are some things that you can do with it, but as you pointed out so far multiple times throughout this round, the Tomcat needed to be a little bit gimped in the 1v1 close-in BFM arena because it was, in my opinion, and I'm not a real flyboy, drastically overperforming.
Oh, yeah.
There were no consequences really for pushing the jet, and it's a big plane. Yes, it can turn relatively well, and it's got some big, powerful engines on it, but it was turning pretty damn well, almost-esque what the Mirage used to be able to do with its overperformance and fuel economy. Not saying that the things were the same, but the Mirage got a bit gimped, as I think it needed to be, and it makes the playing field, I think, more natural and more fluid, having jets perform as they should and taking some of the cards away from the jets that hold all of them.
Right. Yep. Looks like Bear just split S there and was too fast, and he had a little bit of a hill in his way. So if he had flat terrain, he may have been able to recover, but the ground was rising as he attempted to pull out, and he just connected with the mountain, which is really unfortunate.
Now, Silver
That can happen
Phoenix
to
says
best
the
of us.
problem is the current performance of the 14 is a bug, and they're going to put it back to what it was.
Well, really? Okay.
Is that
I mean,
documented anywhere?
that's
I've been out of
Yeah,
DCS
is there-
for a significant amount of time, so I have no idea.
Yeah, if you could provide us with a reference for that, Silver, that'd be great. Because a lot of us in the BFM world were really happy with that change because it was definitely overperforming relative to the other Gen
Mainly
4
because
jets
of its
and
flaps.
relative to its real-world performance as well. But even without the flaps in two-circle at 320 knots on the deck, it was an absolute two-circle monster, and it shouldn't have been that way. So if they're actually going to return it to what it was, then I'd say that's a move in the wrong direction right there. I mean, talking to the real world guys like Guido and Slick and a couple of other guys who have flown real world Gen 4s, they're like, the Tomcat's overperforming. It should not BFM this well.
Gotta listen to the real Flyboys. We just all do it virtually because we envy
exactly.
those guys, and
Yeah.
you gotta listen to what they say. I mean, they may or may not be right, but hey, they did it for real, so I think their opinion's their opinion
Well,
matters.
I distinctly remember a fight where I was BFMing against Guido, the former F-15C pilot, and I was in a Tomcat, and he's like, dude, there's no way a Tomcat would rate like that. We were at about 10,000 feet two-circle, and I was just eating him, and he just said flat out to me, the jet's not capable of that. So take it for what it's worth.
Yeah. I mean, you probably have significant BFM experience in your C-130J. Right?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Maybe a little some
it's
CQB hand-to-hand combat back there in the cargo bay.
right. Yeah, the HUD's a big help, and it's a one-circle monster, so you definitely don't want to get
That's what
into
those
a flat
jets are
scissors
for.
with a J model.
You know, instead
Yeah,
of
there you
using the
go.
jet-assisted takeoff, you do them in the one circle. It rates all day.
Blowing wing, baby.
Can you imagine
Yeah,
that?
and the best part, the best part is if someone gets onto my 6, I can open the ramp, and then he can open up with his M4 and just start shooting the dude.
Well, imagine if it was the gunship variant, and the guy's trying to circle you, and you just level out and shoot across the circle at him. Just M134 all the way across. Just lay some lead.
Yeah. Oh, man. That would be the ultimate weapon, though. If you could fire a missile through the top of your canopy, like if you could fire a 9X out the top of your jet across the circle at the other guy, dude, like, what more is there to say?
I'm sure somebody's working on it somewhere. DARPA is probably envisioning it and thinking, man, if only we could do this. And there's probably some prototype laying in some warehouse somewhere with missiles that shoot out of the vertically out of the fuselage.
Oh my god, like a VLS on submarines, you know?
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? Holy cow.
Then one day it just goes down to the malfunction of the motor doesn't ignite and it just takes off one of your vertical stabs.
Right. But it's like they say, you know, if you end up in a merge, a lot's gone wrong. And I think that's a fair assessment right there.
True. All right, guys, so Rage really wins that match virtually on his own. I mean, I can't say on his own, but he does take 2 GR combatants down all by his lonesome and solidifies the round victory for himself, giving TFT the 1-round advantage in this best of 3. They're up 1-0 over Grim Reapers. I'm going to send you guys back to the supercut, even though it's not the right supercut. And I'm going to get round 2 ready to go. Can the Grim Reapers come back to equalize this? Let's wait and find out. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with more Sanaki taking on Tbilisi action. Task Force Trident taking on Grim Reapers. F-14 against Viper. TFT is currently up 1-0 over over Grim Reapers. What do you think needs to happen here, Low Blow, in order for the Grim Reapers to come back and equalize this and send us to a round 3? What do they need to do aside from get away from all the Phoenix that are going on?
I think they need to use their slammers a bit more intelligently. That's not meant as a harsh criticism, but I think that a lot of those slammers were very ineffective in that last round. And they ended up in that situation where they had none left, and they had to, at that point, close the distance and end up BFMing against what we've already described as a pretty fearsome BFM platform with people, you know, with guys like Rage in it as well, who spends a lot of time BFMing in Tomcat, and ultimately with the Viper that it was in this state in October, that's not where they wanted to end up. So really, they need to. Here's the thing: if I were GR at this point, I would be wanting to get high and fast and try and bait some of those Phoenixes out, and then stay high and fast, turn in and get some reasonably high PK slammers off the rail to scatter TFT a little bit and force them on the back foot. Because tell me if you agree with this or not, but it seemed like TFT were just in control of the fight the whole time.
They did. It definitely did. Well, it felt that way, but they did get down to the point where Rage was by himself. So I don't know how in control they actually were. I think the biggest thing is they just had weapons. Grim Reapers didn't. I mean, who was it? Sorry, Rage still had 2 missiles on his aircraft at the end of that match.
Yeah.
He killed guys with guns, but he still had 2 missiles left. Grim Reapers didn't have any. Yeah, they shot down Chewie, but they didn't have anything left. So that I think in and of itself tells you missile discipline and weapon utilization is a big part in late game strategy and your ability to come out with a victory. If you don't have any weapons left, it's going to be really, really difficult. And that goes for countermeasures too. I got to say that as well.
Yeah. So I think if GR can hold on to a few of those slammers, it's going to make it a bit more of a scary prospect for TFT to close the distance in those Tomcats, because sub 10 miles, those slammers really come into a world of their own, and that's not where you want to be. So interested to see what's going to happen here, but psychologically, TFT definitely coming into this round with an advantage. I would say they'd be feeling pretty good with themselves right about now. Seeing some tanks pop off Squirtle there. I'm not seeing the tac view moving.
Yeah, you're just going to have to sync it up. I'll count you in at 21:30.
All right.
21:30.
Yep, I'm ready.
It shows 22:30.
Oh, sorry.
Go.
Now I'm ready.
So again, this is Sanaki against Tbilisi. It's varied terrain in here. Many foothills. There is flat terrain. If they get far enough north and south, there are some mountains, some high peaks. Bear deploying some of his gun. Bear said he was having some weapons deployment and countermeasure deployment issues there in round 1. So I guess he's probably just checking to make sure that everything works. I think here coming into this Low Blood that we're going to see more AIM-54s. Mainly because I think Grim Reapers are going to be a little bit disheartened. The morale's going to be a bit down. And typically, at least when I've been in that situation, it has led to situations where I'm not necessarily paying as much attention to my RWR or using my Mark II eyeballs outside of the cockpit to be able to see possible incoming threats, or really thinking ahead of my airplane to get away from incoming threats that I may not see. So I think the Phoenix is going to potentially be a real danger for Grim Reapers if GR is going to react how I think they're going to react, how most teams would react after that situation. And I also think it was a serious derailment to their morale even further with Rage taking down 2 guys. I mean, that had to be really, really tough.
Yeah. Yeah, but don't forget, you know, GR this time are coming in with 4 jets. I'm fairly certain that Bear is going to be wanting to make up for what happened in that last round there. He's going to be feeling that responsibility on his shoulders coming into this second round. He's going to want to carry a little bit here, you know, to make up for what happened there. So, you know, GR definitely coming in to this, wanting to lay down the hurt a little bit. You know, the question is, are TFT going to allow them to do that? And I like what you said about the Phoenix and putting that to good use, because the thing with the Phoenix is that if you, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but if you don't respect it, it can really catch you with your pants down, right?
Yep, for sure. It's not even if you don't respect it, it's just if you're preoccupied thinking about something else, that thing can come out of nowhere and bitch slap you across the face. And unfortunately, it's like that Russian slapping competition with that huge guy where you slap him and nothing happens, and then he slaps you back and you fly across the room. That's what the Phoenix is when you don't think about it. It's going to come out of nowhere, and in that bitch slapping competition, it's going to hit you with the palm, the heel of your hand, and your head is going to leave your shoulders. And unfortunately, when that happens in air combat, you're dead. You're dead.
Yeah. Now, altitude-wise, this is a little bit puzzling. We've got links down there.
Okay, I think we're back. We're back.
What timestamp are you at on the
25:32.
All right, let me know when you're going.
All right, ready, go. So Rage puts out the first missile, and it is a Phoenix. Can you see where that is?
Slammer coming back, yeah.
Yeah, but Slammer at these ranges isn't going to do anything. I mean, that Slammer's launched from 20 miles. That's not going to do anything at all in this.
It was more. It was.
But I think I'm going to pause this. Pause in 3, 2, 1. And I think we need to pay attention to these two Phoenix, because I really think that these Phoenix aren't going to be paid attention to by the GR side. So there's this one, and I'm going to send you guys to the camera. So there's this one right here that I think is on Rage. So let's grab it. And then there is this one.
Not Rage. You mean Leighton?
No, I think it's on Rage. Sorry, it's on Leighton. And then the other one I think is on Signore. This one, yeah, I think it's on Signore. So let's grab that one too. Let's go to split screen so we can ride along with these two missiles as they ingress, and play in 3, 2, 1, go. So here come the Phoenix, the Mark 60 trains, the telephone poles of a missile, 15 feet long. They weigh an ass ton. They move really, really fast, and when they hit you, man, bad things happen. And this one's coming in on Leighton, and Leighton's going to be in trouble, and Leighton gets taken down, and this is exactly what I thought was going to happen, and Signore now has a Phoenix coming in on him, and he's in trouble, and he gets taken down. So immediately we go from a 4v4 to a 4v2. Things could not be any worse for Grim Reapers at this point. First pass,
and both of those,
they don't even get a chance to turn around.
Came off Rage's jet. Rage launching another one right now. Another one, another two, I think, have come off Rage there. One beginning to track Squirtle, another one looking at Squirtle also. So Squirtle with 2 Phoenixes on him right now, and a 15-mile slammer coming out of Bear there. Again, you know, at this altitude, probably not that effective. It's already down through Mark 1.7. Squirtle doing a good job of defending the first Phoenix. The second Phoenix still at Mark 2.5, but it has stopped tracking him. So Squirtle's safe for the moment. But Bear is balls deep. He is now within 8 miles of Chewie. 8 mile slammer on Chewie. Let's see if Chewie gets away from this.
He's fine. The missile's not even tracking him.
Oh, right. Yeah, it was just the angle I was looking at.
Yeah, missile's not even tracking him. But something I need to point out is Chewie, or Links to the Sky, is missing his right horizontal stab.
Yeah, Chewie's okay. Got you.
And then Chewie
so we're down to
is. I kind of wonder if Chewie's missing some other stuff.
Well, we're down to a 4v2 at the moment.
Yeah, this is dire straits for Grim Reapers at this point. This is not a good place to be in at all.
No. And TFT just taking their time. You know, they haven't dropped the hammer here. They're not pressing the go button. You know, they're like, okay, we'll deal with you when we're good and ready here. Squirtle now trying to close the distance. He's fast, reasonably fast. Mark 1.2, beginning to take a look at Rage, I want to say. Loses one off at Rage from 14 miles there. But he has 3 of the TFT jets looking at him right now. Squirtle turning out cold.
Nobody really wanting to commit.
Slack. That's right, yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised there weren't any Phoenixes sent at Squirtle just then. There's one that comes off the rail from Chewie. And I think that might be at Bear from 15 miles. That is a dangerous missile. That 16-mile Phoenix there, we want to keep an eye on that. There's one coming off Lynx, possibly at Squirtle, I want to say.
So here's the missile coming in on Bear. And it looks like it's tracking. Bear is 6 miles away now. He may be able to line of sight this. Is he going to be able to notch it? Oh, he's going to line of sight it. Well done. He's going to run it right into the top of this hill, and he's able to get away from that. So well defended by Bear.
But hang on a second. Oh, yeah, there he is. Okay. All right. So, I mean, in this position, if you were TFT, would you be flying out cold and climbing back up to mid-20s?
Yep. Yeah, I think so.
I'm surprised they're staying all down in the weeds at the moment.
Yeah, you got to utilize your advantage. You need to be climbing back up to altitude. Utilize the Phoenixes and the Tomcats' strengths. Get some space. Find where your enemy is, where Bear and Squirtle are, and then prosecute. And you need space to be able to do that. Rage now pressing against Bear.
Yeah, within 10 miles now, there's a 10-mile slammer from Bear and an 8-mile Phoenix from Rage. So this is interesting because I was wondering how the Phoenix was going to perform in close. And it's still under full burn, passing through Mark 2. Well, I want to go and ride with that Phoenix real quick and see what it's doing. No, it stopped tracking him. Bear went into the valley. Nice job by Bear there to get away from that. 3
Phoenixes were actually launched at him, 1 from Rage and 2 from Links to the Sky. And he was able to get away from both of those, or from all 3 of them, excuse me.
Yeah.
What do you see happening here? Do you think Grim Reapers have it in them to be able to do what Rage did in the end of round 1? Or do you think this is really just Grim Reapers trying to hang on and avoid the inevitable?
I'd like to say yes, but in reality, no, is the way I'm going to go with that. Only because in October of 2020, the Tomcat was still a BFM monster, and we know that TFT put time into BFMing in the Tomcat. So, the Viper at this point in time was quite inferior in terms of its ability to raid around 2-circle. It certainly didn't have the 1-circle capabilities of the Tomcat. So, if these guys can actually, and when I say these guys, I mean GR, if GR can actually make it to emerge.
Hold on, Lynx isn't defending against this 120 that's coming in on him, and he's going to be in trouble. Yeah. Incoming missile, and he gets smashed. That missile gets us closer to parity. Well, I think. Lynx is still airborne, now missing part of his right wing, his right horizontal stab, and leaking fuel.
Well, I'm a bit surprised about this, to be honest.
And I'm going to pause it here real quick and make sure we don't miss anything.
Yeah, I'll pause. Now, looking at this on the TAC view, we have Chewie, Rage, and Orange back there. You know, we're talking about, let's see what this distance is here. 12 miles behind Lynx, right? And Lynx goes balls deep on Squirtle and Bear, basically on a frolic of his own, as I like to say, and ends up eating one in the face. So I'm not sure. Maybe one of the TFT guys can let us know in chat what was happening here, because in the first round, TFT looked like they were communicating really well and, coordinating really well, not only within the elements, but also across the elements. And then in round 2 here, we see Lynx of the Sky say, see you guys. I'm going to go say hi to Squirtle and Bear.
Yeah.
And I'm a bit confused about that, to be honest. I'm also confused about the fact that TFT aren't climbing back to mid-20s when they're out cold here and getting that SA advantage, and also the altitude advantage, energy advantage, all of that good stuff to be able to prosecute against Squirtle and Bear from a commanding position. So, again, what maybe you can explain to us why you guys are down at 18,000 here.
I think one of the things about Lynx, though, is remember he suffered significant battle damage on, well, not really battle damage, fratricidal damage on takeoff for the midair, and I kind of wonder if some of his systems were bent. Did he have fully working RWR? Did he have, working radar? Did he have any of those systems, or was he just flying blind with his Rio? Did he have anything of the necessary commodities to be able to know that 120 was coming at him, or to be able to really utilize where's radios working, for that matter? I don't know where the radios are on the Tomcat, externally where the antennas are. Oh, Silver Phoenix actually said he was down one engine and Jester bailed, so he was totally screwed. Okay, well, that makes more sense.
Okay.
I'm going to hit play. 3, 2, 1, go. And you're actually about 10 seconds ahead of me.
Ahead. Now?
Now.
So Lynx is going to say hi to Squirtle and Bear with his wounded Tomcat, and my wife's just stolen my Spotify. She took my music away.
What a jerk. But man, I do have to say, Lynx is still making things happen. I mean, he's really trying. Here comes an aim 9 onto somebody, so he's seeing people, or maybe seeing people, but Squirtle now coming in to finish the job. There goes the 120 on to Lynx of the Sky, and this is going to be it. He doesn't know that's coming. And smash! Lynx of the Sky is no more as his aircraft breaks apart, and that is going to be it. So now we're down to a true 2v3. So GR's doing a decent job of staying in this, but if we look at the weapons left, Squirtle only has 2 120s left.
Yeah. Well, happy to see TFT now up in the mid-20s at least, with a nearly a god's eye view of the battle space here. And they're going to need it because they're in Tomcats, they've got AWACS, but, the SA advantage, would have to go to the Vipers in terms of data link and coordinating with AWACS, PPLI, and all that good stuff, which the Tomcats are not quite as well equipped for.
Bear may be in trouble with this incoming Phoenix. It's going to come right over the hill, and did it hit him? No.
Yeah, Bear, man.
I don't know what happened there.
Bear, well, there's a second one on the way, though.
He got taken down on that one. So he did get hit by that one. So he lives through the first one, but the second one, and I don't even know that he should have lived through the first one. The second one popped up and said, "Nuh-uh-uh, you are done." And Bear ends up eating the telephone pole, which I think he ate 2, actually. I think there was a little bit of desync. I think he ate 2, but he is down for the count. Now we're down to a 1v3. Squirtle is all by himself. You think he's got what it takes? He does have 2 120s left. So if he's able to make them count, and he can, well, there goes one from 6 miles. But he's got a Phoenix coming at him.
Squirtle's no joke of a pilot, and a nice guy too, but I think he's going to have his work cut out for him here, to be honest.
Line of sight's that Phoenix.
Yep, very good. Very good. Now he's taking a look at Rage from 6 miles. Let's see what happens here. All right, man, this is... Come on, Squirtle, I'm rooting for you, bud.
What do you think he has to do to be able to make this happen? I think he has to get away and try and disappear from Rage's sensors. Here comes an AIM 9. That was launched from 4 miles. I don't think Rage really has anything left.
Within 10 miles of him here, and he's out cold. So, down in the weeds like this, trying to defend, they're going to be closing the distance on him. This is super tough right now. Well, the best you could hope for is a blue on blue on TFT's side. Get rid of one jet, and then he's in a 2v1. But
that is a good point. He's recommitting, coming up over the hill. He may know where Rage is. Rage isn't very low. 4 miles off his nose. Squirtle's got Rage. Rage is breaking away 3 miles now. There goes the 120 on to Rage. Let's go to split screen so we can see this come in. Is he going to get line of sighted?
No.
They got line of sighted. Well defended by Rage, and now Squirtle has no missiles left.
But good job by Squirtle. He's making do in a very bad situation here. You know, he's doing the best job that he can, not giving up. He's not just turning tail and running. He's turning. He's fighting these guys with what he's got, and putting on a good show for everyone, which is great to see.
Well, there's not much he can do. I don't even know that he has enough gun rounds to be able to take 3 Tomcats down. He's in an unfortunate situation. I would have liked to see him try and utilize those weapons in better PK scenarios. Wait, the 3 mile shot wasn't bad. He maybe could have arced that a bit better. Pulled up, gave it some more loft. It may have made it over that hill. But even then, we saw Lynx eat a 120 and keep on kicking. So you never know with the Tomcat how much damage it's going to be able to soak up before it goes down.
Yeah. Commanding performance by TFT across both rounds today.
They seemed a little lost here in round 2, though.
A little bit, yeah. In terms of just getting reorganized to, once they were in a 2v4, yeah, they took maybe a little bit more time than we'd like to see in terms of dropping the hammer. But right now, for example, okay, like there's just Squirtle, and we've got 3 Tomcats out cold. So I'm wondering what's going on there.
They're going to recommit. I think they're just building some space. Looks like they're building some altitude. Yeah, Rage is at 17,000 feet. Well, now he's descending. Agent Orange is climbing. Chewie is climbing. So I think they're just building space and recommitting. And they're not as far away as you think. They're only 10 miles away. And the Phoenix is definitely a capable threat from 10 miles.
Well, yeah, 15. I'm seeing 15 miles at the moment. Looks like Rage is back on him here. And Squirtle's energy state is not very high. He's only down at 310 knots.
Yep.
Kaz right now, down in the weeds. I guess he's in the just notch it bro mindset here.
I think that's the only thing he can do. That's all he can do in order to make something happen. Slowly closing in. Rage is now at 15,000 feet, climbing again. Chewie's at 20,000 feet. And Agent Orange is climbing, descending through 11,000 feet. So Chewie's positioning is definitely the best. Let's take a look and see what he's got remaining. He's got 2 AIM-7s and 2 AIM-9s. Don't care about the AWACS.
All right, so Squirtle now recommitting on Rage at 12 miles. And has this... No, the stream just... okay. So he's got nothing. Squirtle's down in guns, is that right?
Yep. Agent Orange is the only one with a Phoenix remaining.
Alright, so here comes the BFM monster Rage, now 8 miles, about to go for a merge with Squirtle. Let's see it happen all over again here.
I think Chewie's gonna get him before he gets there.
Yes, Squirtle's not even committing on Rage at the moment. Down in the weeds. I'm pretty sure Rage sees him though. 5 miles.
I don't think Chewie sees him. Chewie's just flying over top. I think Rage does, though. Can you tell what that was that was fired? AIM-7.
Well, there's a Sparrow and then a heater. Alright, so 5 miles there. That Sparrow tracking nicely.
Is he going to have the energy to be able to reach him? He's turning back into it. No, Rage, don't turn back. Oh, he doesn't line his sight. He notches it. Oh! Barely missed him when he came back down.
Phoenix coming in from Agent Orange, gets line of sighted. Rage now merged with Squirtle. Let's see the fight. Here we go, straight into vertical 1 circle.
Good shot from Squirtle onto Rage.
I'm just gonna ride with Squirtle. Actually, I shouldn't ride with him because there's oh no, he just eats it in the booty from Chewie. Yeah,
he did well. I think he did about all that he could. He was merged with 3,
yeah,
and that's a tough fight to be in. Agent Orange actually took some risks firing into that furball.
Where do you think it went wrong for GR in the second round?
Weapons management, I think, was one of them. Well, it all really went wrong when 2 of their guys died in the first pass.
Oh yeah, the two
things
Phoenixes,
things went very wrong when that happened.
And that was phenomenal to see those 2 Phoenixes tracking there. I'm just going to roll back to that real quick. So here we go. This first one here, let's go and watch this. First person view on Leighton. This had Leighton's name all over it from the moment it was manufactured.
I mean, look how late he reacts. There's no way you get away from that.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Brutal.
I mean, he may be able to notch it. And then who was the other one that ate it? Signore? Yeah.
Yeah, Signore eats the second one. Again.
Same thing. Same thing. I think they were just preoccupied, which is... The Phoenix, I think, is more dangerous in round 2 than it is in round 1. Mainly because, mainly because you don't... GR didn't suffer a casualty from a Phoenix in round 1, so maybe they were like, it's not that big of a deal. And then it comes in here in round 2 and just smashes everyone. You discount it.
Yeah, but look at Signore's energy state in this defensive maneuver. Not to be overly critical or anything, but when he pitches down into the vertical, he's basically stopping in space. He's doing 230 knots here. He may as well be a hot air balloon as far as this Phoenix is concerned.
Yeah, he's trying to get into the vertical notch, but didn't quite have it, and the Phoenix was too close to be able to really make it effective. So he gets taken down. But what do you think, aside from not dying in the very first pass, GR could have done to maybe come out and equalize this at 2 apiece? Or at 1 apiece, excuse me. Well, not die.
Not die.
That's a big part of it.
Other than that, not die.
What about?
I don't know, man. I really don't know. Look. If we just go back and look, like you say, the pivotal point in this fight were those 2 early Phoenix shots. So we have to break down what they could have done differently to not die at this point. So the first and I think a lot of it comes down to flying not off the RWR but flying off a timeline. And we've spoken about this before, right? Like here they are. They've got a couple of Tomcats lining them up from 35 miles. That's those Phoenixes have to be respected. You have to act like there's a Phoenix in the air. You can't just wait for the RWR to go off and then pitch towards Earth at 250 knots and hope for the best. It's just not going to work, is it?
Right. No, absolutely not. It's not going to work. You have to anticipate and fly ahead of your airplane to make sure that those shots don't connect. If you're just reacting, especially at 25, 30,000 feet, it's too late at that point. You've already given all the advantages to your opposition and to the enemy's missile to take you down.
They knew that they were coming into this fight with TFT having the longer stick. So they had to engineer a game plan that stopped them from playing into that, because they're not going to, realistically, they're not going to be able to contest from 20,000 feet Mark 1 at 30 miles. It's just simply a fact of life, whereas the Tomcats at 30 miles with the Phoenixes are dangerous shots.
Right.
So what could you have done differently there to perhaps neutralize that fight?
I think you just have to fly more defensively, fly ahead of your airplane, take some preeminent notches, fly 90 degrees off aspect to notch missiles that you maybe don't see as they ingress, and then try and push the fight in close. You're going to have the advantage with the 120C in close. I mean, they don't have the advantage with guns, but if you can conserve your weapons into that inside 5-mile range, you're going to kill them every time. No question.
Right.
No question at all.
And this time, look, I know that just 2 GR guys went down ultra early, but GR definitely didn't spam as many slammers.
Not in round 2.
In round 2. So they were thinking about missile economy. I think it's just that they forgot about the timeline that they were on, or more to the point, should I say, the timeline that the Tomcats were on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that 30-mile point there is a bit of a gate that needs to start triggering off some warning bells and then, as you say, go into defensive mode at that point, nice and early, and try and get more of those Phoenixes off the rails, beat them, and then close the distance. Once you're within 10 miles with the Slammers, then you're a serious force to be contended with, and that was the best they could have hoped for today, I think. But tell you what, man, it isn't easy just to look at the 4 Tomcats on paper and go, oh, that seems like a mistake. But in actuality, it wasn't a mistake at all. It was a very strong play.
They did it fairly well. Grim Reapers, I think, didn't execute a plan to contend with the Tomcats. I think caught them a bit off guard. I don't know if they knew TFT was going to come in with 4 Tomcats. I think if any team would have done that and you weren't planning for it, it does throw a wrench into what you're trying to plan. It's tough to deal with. Having to change. I know we talked about this yesterday, not flying how for a specific enemy, but when you're against 4 Tomcats, you do have to change some things in order to make sure you don't die to those long-range shots. But
yeah.
I think they just needed to be a little bit more patient in conserving weapons and be more aggressive in trying to close the distance. If you keep the Tomcat at medium range, you're giving them all the advantage. But I do have to go back and say that Rage at round 1 did a phenomenal job, and we can watch him land. Did a phenomenal job in clinching that out. And I think that was the nail early, but I think that was the nail in the coffin that really sent GR down.
But it's almost like when these teams are preparing for SATAL 2021, they need to develop a playbook for what the other team's bringing to the fight and have those plays ready to go. Have it pre-thought out. If we are in 4 Vipers going up against 4 Tomcats, what's the strategy? If we're in 4 Vipers going against 4 Hornets, I think it needs to just
be more fluid than that. Just allow it to be fluid. Allow yourself to come in how you normally would, and then if it's 4 Tomcats, you just descend earlier and press in. You use your advantages. Trying to come in with a game plan like you would in football or something, I think is a recipe for disaster. You just need to be fluid, react to how things happen. Not even necessarily react. You need to be the one dictating what's going to happen. And if you're able to do that, you're going to be in the driver's seat. So if you're aggressive on these Tomcats and close the distance, you're going to be able to make everything happen. But again, like I said, I think the early deaths to the Phoenixes in round 2, and then Rage's obliteration of GR in the gunfight just was too much for GR to be able to overcome.
But yeah, I'm gonna go the other way though. I hear what you're saying, and fluidity is good, but I really do think that if we want to see a higher standard in 2021 in SATAL, these teams need to be breaking the 2020 fights down in TAC view and learning from the lessons that have already been written on the wall here. Otherwise what's going to happen is we're going to keep seeing the same mistakes repeated through 2021. I'm not saying you don't
learn from your mistakes. I'm just saying that I don't want to come in with a game plan of, well, we're going to come in and then turn away the first pass, because when you do things like that, there's potential to just give away opportunities that you could capitalize on if you're just turning away. You need to be able to react and to those situations to be able to make something happen. By no means am I saying
I'm just talking more about an awareness of what the fight how the fight's likely to unravel. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, of course. That I would agree with. But I think that brings us to the end of this match. Nice and short, hour and a half, not too bad. Tomorrow's match is going to be Tall Wolfpack taking on German Tactical Air Group. And I'm going to precursor this. Tomorrow's match, guys, it's a good one. It's a really good one. So just be aware that it's going to be a solid fight. Same time tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be more on time. I got to get my camera so that it's not dying. And I got to move my mic so that it's more in my face, so I'm not leaning in and talking to it like I am now, because I'm probably pretty quiet. But guys, tomorrow, again, Tall Wolfpack taking on German Tactical Air Group. It's going to be a great one. Hopefully you guys can join us then. Quick shout outs to 104th Bullet. Says the Phoenix is as big as an F-16. It's pretty close. And I thought there was another one. G.I. Joe says welcome back. Thanks, guys. Much appreciated. And thank you for all the follows. Hopefully you guys that followed us will be back tomorrow. We're going to be doing these hopefully as many days as I can to catch up on some of these streams, because we're a bit behind. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tall Wolfpack taking on German Tactical Air Group. Until next time, guys, stay safe in those virtual skies, and we'll see you guys next time.